Today's Monday, it's the 19th of June 2023, and we're at the bus stop. We're just waiting for a bus which is due in the next 2 or 3 minutes to take us into Palma. A little bit of shopping maybe. But lunch is on the agenda. We're going to see if we can find somewhere for a menu del dia. So first of all, the bus ride into Palma, and then we'll see what happens when we get there. Bang on time, here comes the bus. Number 46 is the one we get, and it says it's going to Sindicat. Hola, buenas.
Hola, buen día.
Well, we just got off the bus, so here we are in Palma, in a slightly different place than we would normally do. We're on Paseo Mallorca, which is the top of the Jaime Tres, which is the street we're going to. We're actually by the river. Not a lot of water in it at the moment, and it's a bit smelly because it has got some water in it, and it's not dried up completely, so there's a little bit of a pond down there. So that's the riverbed, which has in the past few weeks, a few weeks ago, had a lot of water down there, but there's virtually nothing in there, just a trickle, and that's causing a few problems with the odour. Needs to have moved on from it. The car park is one of the car parks we would normally come to. As you can see, there's a bit of a queue going in, and that's because it's full. There's a sign at the beginning that says completo. So somebody's got to leave before these cars can actually get in. So coming by bus certainly had its advantages today. And the bus stop where we've just got off is actually one where we can catch the airport bus. So any one of the stops in the next few stops is airport bus territory. So that's what we normally would do, or have been doing up until recently. I think we're going to get a taxi this weekend when we're going to Ibiza. One, we've got a bigger case, or cases, and it's just getting a little bit hot to do that walking, carrying cases. So Anita's already booked a taxi for Saturday morning. The return journey, hopefully our son can come and pick us up. But, this weekend he's actually away on the other island, Majorca. So this is the bridge, the puente. Goes all the way up and down. And there's some people getting a little bit excited with their horns down there. And the airport bus is just away across the road there. So there's two different sorts of airport buses really. There's the TIB ones, they're the yellow and reds. And then this one, which is sort of a blue, white and green. The blue, white and green one is EMT. EMT are the buses that run in Palma. They don't go very far outside of Palma. And here we've got water, so if you want some water, fill your bottle. That's what these are all about. And we've got a green man that says we can cross the road. Someone asked me about hotels in Palma, and one that was recommended. Remember, we've never stayed at any hotels in Palma, but there's a Saratoga down there. See the flags maybe, that's the Saratoga Hotel. And it seems to get good sort of reviews. Wow, just looking at this estate agent. It's not an estate agent, but it's gone. I don't know why that is. Estate agents, I thought, were doing pretty well at the moment. Maybe they've moved to bigger premises. And that one in particular has several properties over 10 million euros. It's not, it's gone, it's completely gone. Oh my God, this is like one of the top streets in Palma, where you'll find all the the posh shops. And the big department store, El Corte Inglés. It's 2 El Corte Inglés, and this is no longer the biggest. The bigger one is actually on the Avenidas. Slippy tiles there, need to be careful. There's the Bicky bikes, the Palma bikes. But, if you're a local, you can rent those or borrow them. Something we've ever got into. There are a few trees on the Avenidas giving us a little bit of shade. It's just as we were coming in, the temperature was already reaching 32 degrees, and it isn't even noon yet. It's just coming up to 12 o'clock. So we thought we'd have a slightly different walk and start at the top of the Avenidas and work our way all the way across Palma. Find nice shops with handbags and things. There's Carlos Delgado, former mayor of Calvia. And as of this week, we do have a new mayor of Calvia. And Calvia is one of the areas where they... Sorry? Chocolateria. You found your chocolateria in Festival Park with the Lint shop. She's seen a lottery man. Anita's going to buy a lottery ticket. This is ONFE, which is the Society for the Blind. And they do a little bit for other disabilities as well, so it's not just blind. But, traditionally, ONFE is for the blind, and she's just bought the winning tickets. I can't remember the last time she actually won anything like that.
Never won really. Can't
She very, very occasionally gets the money back. So we think of it as a donation to a charity. So yes, I was talking about the elections, which are still rumbling on, and at the moment there's a sticking point for the island government, and the sticking point is language. The main party is the Partido Popular, equivalent roughly to the Conservative Party in the UK. But they don't have a majority, so they need to go into coalition. And their obvious coalition partners would be Vox, which are considered to be quite a lot more right-wing, somewhat extremist. But Vox have put up a red line, and they've said, if you want us to join, our red line is you must accept that people have a choice of what language their children are taught in. So the problem is that the state schools here teach mostly in Catalan. You might well say, but you're not in Catalonia. Well, no, we're not. We're in the Balearic Islands, and Catalonia is the area where Barcelona is and Valencia, on the northeast of Spain. But Catalan and Mallorquin are closely related languages, and not the same, but closely related. And the Partido Popular just wants to maintain the status quo, which means that more or less all lessons, or most lessons, are in Catalan. And Spanish, the national language, is almost considered a foreign language and is taught only in those lessons. So if you do history, you do geography, you do chemistry, you do biology, you study it in Catalan. And the parents at the moment have no choice. And Vox are saying, well, we want to give parents the choice to have their children educated in Spanish. To me, that seems a perfectly reasonable choice. If you want your children to go to university, duck shop there, lots of ducks. You want your children to go to university in the rest of Spain, and they've been studying chemistry, for example, that's my subject, in Catalan. They're really going to struggle to learn scientific terms in Spanish, and it's going to create a little bit of difficulty for them. So Vox are insisting that if they want to have a coalition, then they want the option for parents to be able to have their children educated in Spanish, in Castellano Spanish. Well, I suppose the next few days we'll see what happens, because if they can't form a coalition, they will have to form a minority government. Minority governments can get voted down. You could end up with another election. I don't think anybody wants to have another election. We've already got a general election coming up at the end of July. Nobody particularly wants that, particularly in July, because it's too hot. It's not good for campaigns, it's not good for people to vote. They've already gone on holiday. So but we're stuck with that one. That's for the national government. So I'll keep you posted on that one. It's something that interests me, and I'm not quite sure which direction things are going to go. So we're just now at the top of the Borne, and we've got this is the Plaza, affectionately known as the Plaza de los Tortugas. It's the Turtle Plaza, and it's called that because there's a plinth, a monolith, and it's supported by some turtles. It's just across the road. I'm sure you're going to catch it now. Right across there, there's 4 turtles supporting the column. The temperature I've just noticed, it said 33.5 degrees. That's pretty much a shade temperature, so I would guess that that's pretty much correct. It's 35 one up there says. 35, yeah, well it could well be. And it's pretty hot. Typical streets that you can happily explore in the daytime. CNA got a few comments about CNA and the fact that it disappeared off the face of the earth in the UK. Ooh, the air conditioning's on in there. Tempted, but yeah. So we're heading up now towards Via Roma and towards Plaza Mayor, and there are some back streets there which are nice to walk through, so we're going to go up this side. And I'll just point out again that on a future occasion, one of the places I've got to bring Anita is to this house here on the left hand side. Yes, it is a house. It's a stately home, if you like, and it's Can Balaguer. I'm probably not pronouncing that quite properly, but a place where they have all sorts of things going on. But it is a museum, so you follow through there, go up the stairs, and there is a museum which takes you all through the house. I found it really fascinating, that noise of the cars. I'm going to do a little bit more research on it. Today they seem to have some film on, and they've got a screen up there and some chairs, but always something going on in Palma. So I need to do my research, and then I can give you a little bit of a better talk about it when we go. Just another back street.
Anda, hijo.
Are these those plane trees we talk about? All the bark, it's just not the leaves that are dropping off, some of the leaves, but it's the bark that's being shed. Some work's going on here. Just excuse me while I walk underneath. Bar Alaska across the road, just opening up. Could do with a beer, and because we come on the bus, we can have a beer. More of these little side streets which are really fascinating. Any of you who are worried about me having the right shirt or the right shorts for Ibiza, I think I do. Always going clippity-clop. And you get yourself a little guided tour if you go on those. Sure, one wonders really about the horses though, as the temperature goes up. It's hot now, but in another few weeks' time, once we get into July, the temperatures soar, and there is a possibility of a little bit of a heat wave even the next few days. Temperatures getting up to mid-30s, high 30s, or even in the 40s, and then it becomes really uncomfortable for us. The poor horses, they need lots and lots of water. I don't know how they get that trotting around Palma. Our bus it was okay when we got on it, but it certainly did fill up this morning. Just noticing the other buses getting very full. And she saw the car park absolutely inundated. In front of us, this is actually the Grand Hotel. Some beautiful architecture here. Anybody if you're interested in that sort of thing, or at least I find it beautiful, really nice stonework. It's not a hotel anymore, it's actually owned by one of the biggest banks in Spain. It's La Caixa, and they've turned it into well, there's a cafe, library, bookshop, but more than that, it's an exhibition centre, and so they have different exhibitions and events that go on in there. So it's somewhere I will come to time and again. It's also a place where schools bring their students for talks and lectures, and it's coming up to the end of the year. David Waller just walked down there.
Who?
David Waller.
Who?
Used to be from the church, but he's just done the Camino de Santiago. He's walked for hundreds of kilometres and posted lots of pictures. He's obviously back in Mallorca now. Another one of the... There's two horses on that one, sharing the effort. going past the Teatro Principal, the main theatre. I'm sure that's strictly true, but that's the name of it, Teatro Principal. It's actually owned by the government, and in the past we've been to many concerts there. Children have actually performed there in different concerts and things. On the front in Palma there is just called Palma Auditorium, which is actually bigger. And the Palau de Congreso, the Congress Centre on the front, has also got a very big theatre. But the Teatro Principal is a little bit more oldie-worldy. So oldie-worldy that there are boxes in there with seats where you can't see the stage. I find that absolutely amazing that whoever designed the theatre can have a box where you can't actually see anything that's going on the stage. It's, we've actually had seats like that. We've been given a seat to go free to the orchestra, and you obviously get whatever's left over. And that's what you get. Well, there's something to interest both of us. There's an old metronome and a lovely old microscope. Suit us both, that would. Well, Anita's got a metronome, and I think I've got a microscope somewhere, so don't need one. Now on Via Roma, which is beautifully in the shade. I think I need a drink, darling. I've got to wait until we get to lunch somewhere.
Shall we? What time is it now?
The time is just 12:15. We came here only a couple of weeks ago because we wanted to go to a particular restaurant. And it's just the other side of this flower stall. It's called Aspas, and it's a special restaurant because it looks after people who employs people who've got some sort of a disability. And so yeah, we do that.
Shall we?
Yeah. You get all sorts walking down the Via Roma. Yeah, so Aspas is a restaurant that, and there's not one of them, there's several of them, that employs people who have special needs of some sort. So it's really nice to support them, whether it's for a meal or just for a drink. But I think we'll just settle for a drink at the moment. So the girl that actually served us last time has just served us again and just ordered our drinks. And she says she's seen our video that we did last week of the restaurant and got a smile on the face, and the boss has seen it as well. So hopefully it'll do them a little bit of good, and they'll get a little bit of trade from people who might not normally come here. The dish that I had was called a variat. And I posted that on a Facebook group, which is specially for variats, and I must have got nearly 100 likes on that, and lots of comments, people wanting to know exactly where it was and how much it was. Excellent value, and if you like your tapas, that's a way you can actually sample lots of tapas on one plate, and for €7.95 I think it was, absolute bargain. We're not going to eat here today, we're going to move on, and but Anita says the menu looks very nice, but not today. We're going to try somewhere different today, but I definitely needed a drink. Well, we've got the drinks. Anita for some reason ordered a coffee. I can't imagine why she would order a coffee. 35 degrees and she's had a coffee. Well, I've got my usual cold shandy, but this is actually one that comes in a bottle. They're a little bit more alcoholic than bottled shandies in the UK,
It's a good job you're not driving.
but very, very tasty, so suits me fine. I'm not driving. Well, that's where we just had the drink from. That's the cafe across the road, Aspas Cafe Rambla, and it's just across the road from the flower shops. It's in the Ramblas here. But we're in search of lunch, and we've got an idea of where we want to go. But we're going to have a look up the Ramblas first, and then we'll see where we go from there. Flowers, of course, and they always have wonderful displays. Not going to buy any because, well, we'd have to carry them if we did. I did actually go in that church a few weeks ago. Interesting. So many interesting places to go in Mallorca. I'm constantly finding new ones, so always looking out for something different though. Interested in coins, then this is the place to be. Coins and banknotes. Del Dia there. Just noticing a lot of the trees where the bark is just peeling away. It's almost as though it's got sunburnt and it's peeling off. Not so it in the street. See how it's just fallen off the tree and just sitting down there. Fountain here at the top of the Ramblas. across. This is Calle Olmos. To give it its Catalan name, Carrer del Oms. And this will take us all the way up to Plaza Espana.
Vai más dentro.
This is another one of the pedestrian streets that runs off actually to San Miguel, which is another pedestrianised street for lots and lots of shops. It's just at the top of here to the right and then leads you down into Plaza Mayor. Straight ahead, Plaza Espana, ahead and to the right takes you to Plaza Mayor. And then eventually, if you carry on straight through Plaza Mayor, you would head down to the cathedral. I think someone was asking about a bus from Santa Ponsa or Palma to the cathedral. Well, you've probably got to do a little bit of walking. You get off in Plaza Espana and then walk down to the cathedral. Lots of signs and lots of stuff to see on the way, so it is an interesting walk. And because you're in the city, there's usually plenty of shade as well. You have to walk on the correct side of the road.
It's still hot in the shade.
It is still pretty warm in the shade. You go past their shop door that's open though, and there's a sudden cold breeze around your feet as the cold air leaks out from the shop. Carrefour Express. Came across one of those in Rome, didn't we? Carrefour Express. Photo shops or camera shops have virtually disappeared, but this is one of the last of them, I suppose. Photo Ruano. This is a regular shop across the road. They've got one which deals with the professional equipment. So if you're a professional photographer, you can get service here. Nice to see the young girls with their fans as well. Anita always has a fan in her handbag during the summer months. Very popular in Spain still with all the generations. And a great way of cooling off when the heat gets to you. duty-free dresses. It's now coming up 5 to 1. I'm busy in Palma. So that's San Miguel. Carry on down there, you'll go all the way through to Plaza Mayor. And if you continue straight ahead, you'd end up in the cathedral, or at least very close to the cathedral. We're going this way, which is to Plaza Espana, which is under renovation work. So they've started digging up the surface. The stones, the flagstones that were there, they're all crumbled and broken. So it's becoming a little bit dangerous. They needed to do some repair work, and they've decided to now take the lot up and relay it. It's quite a large project, and they've chosen to do it now in the summertime, which means that most of the plaza is closed off, and then as soon as they start digging, they find some ancient remains, which means they have to stop digging. So it's a stop-start process. So it could well take a bit longer than they initially anticipated. So you see all the barriers in front with all the apologies saying they're sorry for all the disturbance that they're causing. I really do not know why they can't organise to do this during the winter months and to do it in stages. I really don't know. I better go there, that's a cycle path. There are penalties for walking on cycle paths.
Yeah, you get run over by a cycle.
That probably is a penalty. Get run over. There's also fines. Cross over, watch your step. Sort of circumnavigating Plaza Espana, which is all totally dug up.
It's bad as the Paseo, isn't it?
So today I put a video up of the Paseo Maritimo, and same thing is going on there. They've dug it all up, and we've got a project that's 2 years of misery for the people who are trying to earn a living from their businesses, which are based on the Paseo Maritimo. Similar thing here. This bar on the corner is Bar Crystal Bar, and pretty iconic here in Mallorca. But it did close, it did change hands for a while, but it's back to its original now. You can see there the workers digging away. Hot work for them. Get off the bus, but today we decided to get off at the other side so that we could have a walk through. We're going to cross over towards the station. So on the right, on the opposite side here, we've got all the bus station, railway station, and the station that the train leaves for Soyer. So if you want to go to Soyer on the tourist train, that's where you go. If you want to go to the bus, to Soyer on the bus, you go to the station next door, which is just down there. That's the Soyer Station Cafe. We're just going to go down to the left. So one of our, quite a few cinemas. Here's one of them. I'm not sure we've ever been to that one. I don't think we have. So whenever we go to the cinema, we look out for cinemas that have films that are in the original language, or to English. It's a place I like to look at. This is cash converters, all the second-hand things. Nice telescope down there. The road that we're walking along, it's 4 lanes, is it, on each side. This is the Avenidas. And you pretty much need to know which lane you're in and which lane you're not allowed in. Some of them are only for buses and taxis. Some of them you have to turn whatever direction that lane's going in. So 5 lanes here at the moment. So we've just gone past cash converters, and then the one in front of us, similar sort of place, is CEX. Say that. And this is the end of the Archduke Louis Salvador is the name of that street. It's quite a name, isn't it? Archduke Louis Salvador. Buses that are driving past here, nearly all blue, green and white, with the only occasional red and yellow bus. These blue, green and white ones are the ones that are EMT, and that one going up there is actually hydrogen powered. It's not petrol or diesel, it runs on hydrogen. And hydrogen's made here on the island, so it's made from solar power, so it's the greenest of fuels you can possibly imagine. So lucky to see that one. We haven't got many of those. The new government, when it gets in Palma, assuming it gets in, well no, I think maybe they might be already done, has said that the money for the tram is going to be spent on electric buses rather than a tram. And there are some electric buses already here. I don't think I've actually seen one yet. Hopefully I can't hear it because they are supposed to be very quiet. And this road here is called 31st of December. We retired on the 31st of December, darling. I think they did name the street in honour of us retiring. Used to be a street I came to quite often because there's a sign over there, W Mega, which is Omega. It's a computer shop, and I used to buy a lot of computer supplies from there in years gone by. green man is showing, so we can cross over. This is 31st of December. Across the road, Deutsche Bank. Very glassy. To the road we want to go up the street, which is Calle Blanquerna. I know I'm going to be told I'm pronouncing that wrong. My pronunciation is not very good, but I blame it on my deafness. I'm just going to walk in the shade of the trees if we can. It is a pedestrianised area. It does have a cycle lane. It's just up here on the left hand side, the place I think you've got in mind. And this particular road, it's got lots of cafes, bars, restaurants. Which, it's just turned 1 o'clock, so they'll start to get busier and busy now. There's another cinema just around the corner up here, and that quite often does have original languages. This is it. This is the restaurant Anita has in mind, and they do have a menu del dia, menu lunes, which is gazpacho, which I like, or there's an ensalada, so broccoli salad, and then there's a rice with calamari, gambas, or a red curry. I think Anita will go for the red curry. Maybe I will too. Well, I've ordered the gazpacho. Gazpacho is a cold soup, and I think that's exactly what I need today. And Anita has ordered the salad. And to drink, Anita's on the rosado, but this is a very blush rosado. And she's also ordered some water, and I've got to wait for my beer to come. They're just changing the barrel. Well, I'm not driving today, so I can have a beer or two. 3? We'll see. So mine has come. It's a rice dish with some fishy type things. It's almost a paella, really. Similar, not quite. And Anita's ordered a red curry. So that looks pretty delicious. Anita chose the fruit salad, which is the healthy option. And she approves of my yogurt, which is another healthy option. So really nice, tasty food here today. And just to finish, we're both having a coffee. Very nicely presented, look. Like that. Oh, and a biscuit. So there's the bill. We've got 2 beers for me, a wine, water, 2 coffees, and the 2 menus. The total comes to €43.60. Really most enjoyable lunch here, Menu del Dia at the Sevilla. Well, I think that was a really good Menu del Dia.
Very nice.
Food was excellent, service superb, drinks were good, and we were both very, very full. So it's a slow walk now to the bus stop. Well, we've made it back to the bus stop, but on our way we had to call into the shop where Anita bought the shorts, and we bought another pair. So what do you think about the colour?
Lovely.
Yeah.
We'll have a model when we get home.
Save them for Ibiza. Yeah. So thanks very much for watching this video, and we look forward to seeing you in our next one. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.